It's amazing. Around 112,000 children in England were educated at home in the last autumn term. That's up from 92,000 the year before. So it's fashionable, it's catching on, it's happening more and more often. According to the NSPCC, councils across England have reported that the number of families home educating their children has more than doubled over the past 5 years. How do you feel about that? Do you think children ought to be in school with other children? How do you feel? Get in touch and let me know. Jemma, what do you think?
Personally, I wouldn't want to do it. Personally, I think it's great that you go to school and you hang out with your friends and have sleepovers and clubs and school plays and all of those nice things. However, I do respect people's choice. And I do think that I know there's been recently reports of people who might have kids with special educational needs and perhaps not enough that they need to go to a special school, but perhaps that they're not being catered for in the mainstream schools because funding has gone down and they've decided, right, I'm going to do it myself and I know best. Hats off to those parents who've got the patience. I think I used to be maybe a little bit judgy about it and think, well, they're not going to get the results. But again, I have read where people have come out with excellent results from the GCSEs and so on, and they've been taught by their parents. I think their parents are better people than me.
All right, Ian, hasn't it made you the gentleman that you are today, that you had to go to school, do as you were told, blend in with people of your own age?
It gave you a rounded, listen, there was a rounded education. There was the 3 hours when I went to school, I had to fill the quill. It gave me a rounded education. It was competitive. There were sports days competing against others. It brought people from all diversities, all walks of life. The social, so it wasn't just the academic side which grew, it was the social skills, you know, and I find that home teaching for some people, as you so rightly expressed, is good, but that's part of the package. There's got to be taught the social skills as well, which I think they can often not master.
And Sharon, school life isn't always easy. It can be very tough. It can be very rough. There can be kids that don't fit in. There are bullies. It can be difficult to keep up with everyone else in class. You can have less money than everyone else. You don't like the lunch. I mean, it's a whole big deal. It's not like you just go in and start living happily ever after. It can be really tough.
Absolutely.
But is it necessary somehow to navigate and get through all of that and come out the end?
Well, I would say yes. I mean, I would say socialising probably is the most important thing, you know, and wrapping your children so that they get exposed to that when they're 18 and they go for their first job interview is going to be quite scary. So I think school is quite an important thing because the world is quite a tough place and actually you learn a great deal and being able to mix and meet other people. But an important question we're not asking is why are so many people losing faith in our education system?
Yes. And why are so many children school refusing? Because that's one of the things my daughter Saskia specialises in. You know, increased number of children have massive school anxiety and don't want to go at all. And why do so many parents, you're quite right to ask the question, think, well, actually, I could do a better job, when most parents after lockdown wanted to have a lie down on the sofa for the next 5 years to recover from having their children there all day, every day. I mean, it's absolutely exhausting, incredibly demanding to keep up with them academically. Very, very difficult.
And also, is this them putting the children first or is this needy parents who need to have their children with them all the time as well? So which is being put first in this? Is it the kids or is it the parents?
And is it the education system letting the kids down? What's going on? What's going wrong? Kim, your daughter's been homeschooled.
It's actually called home educated. Homeschooling is where the school provides an education at home for a child, usually due to ill health and behaviour and things like that.
Yeah.
It's home education when a parent provides the education at home. But she's been home educated for 5 years. She's 14 now. And she has just been accepted to start a degree with uni, which she would have never done that with school.
At the age of 14, did you say?
Yes, at 14.
She's going to start a degree at the age of 14, is she?
Yeah, she started Saturday just gone. She's been studying, it's psychology that she's doing it in.
Wow.
And she's been studying for the last couple of years because she's been able to concentrate on what she's interested in.
My
and
goodness.
She's tried a few different things, and this is what's really excited her and fascinated her, and she's been able to continue doing that. We do a lot of child-led learning, which does get a lot of hate a lot of time. It's usually from people that do not understand home education. There is a lot of fear-mongering. I heard the thing about socialisation. It's completely ridiculous. If you, for example, as an adult, how do you make friends? Can you only make friends in school, or can you make friends outside there, different clubs and different get-togethers and things like
Kim,
that.
let me ask you though. Let me ask you, why did you decide to home educate your daughter? What was the reason for it?
Partly because she was being bullied, partly because she wasn't getting supported with the learning. She was very, very bright in certain situations, in certain subjects, and was struggling in others, but she wasn't getting the support that she needed. Unless you fit in a box, you will never get the support that you need. Plus, when you actually have a look at it and you have a look at state education, they don't want our children to do well. It's all about the economy. If your child does well, it's going to upset the entire economy. That's when you look at private schools, it's completely different education.
We're a bit bewildered by that part of what you said. I don't think the school has any interest in your child not doing well, and I don't see how, if your child doesn't do well, that benefits the economy either. Does anyone understand that?
And the ultimate would be then still to send children to university, which is exactly what this lady's doing with her daughter anyway.
Yes. So Kim, do you feel she's missed out on anything?
Bullying.
She's missed out on being bullied. Well, that's true. You don't feel that she's missed out on, hanging out with other kids of her age, what they talk about, what they think about, just being part of the gang in a way?
She does hang out. The thing is, I run a group for home educators. The local authority and CAMS send parents to myself to help with socialisation. There is 1,800 families, and this is just local. They're allowed out the house. They do go and speak to each other. For example, back in August, we did a prom for home educated kids. Now, this was for all different ages. We had 300 people come, and we've got a lot of different media outlets and things like that, MPs and so on, that are backing that as well.
All right, well, I appreciate you calling. Thank you very much indeed, and congratulations on her amazing attainment. That was incredible. Let's go to Heather in Hertfordshire. Heather, how do you feel about this? Because obviously it's more and more popular, as you hear.
Yes, I know, and I know obviously there's pros and cons and everything, but I've got 3 children, and my first 2 were very close in age. So it was like boom, boom. They both go to school. I went to work, and they just went to school. Now, there were bullying issues, but, I'm like a lioness with her cups, and you sort it, And then also my youngest daughter, who's 24, she used to sort of not want to go to school, and I'd march her up the road into school, and I'd end up crying down the road because I felt so bad. But she had to go to school. And the thing is, as well, I mean, she's now in a very good law firm. Well, all my kids have done well, but she's actually in a law firm now. And she had to go against, oh my goodness, so many applicants, and have so many interviews, some of which never even got back to her. Yeah. And schooling, there's going to be bullying. There's going to be people you don't want to socialise with. There's going to be people, but you can't choose who you work with. And it builds resilience. And mixing with different types of people in different, different places and different times and different classes. My daughter, I mean, she's from a normal upbringing, if I say that. But she's mixing with people from, like you've been to Cambridge, and she's mixed with everybody.
Fantastic. All right, Heather, thank you so much. I'm going to move to Charlene, because Charlene is another home educator, and she says home educating her son has been a terrific decision. Charlene, why was it such a great decision for you and your son? Charlene, hello? Are you there? No, we thought she was on the line, but she seems to have disappeared. Let's go to Amanda in London instead. Amanda, I don't think you're a fan of this idea of home educating.
No, I'm not a fan, Vanessa.
No. Why?
I believe that children, whatever age, whether they're primary school or secondary school or nursery, it's a good incentive to go to a place to be educated.
And the ones that feel they don't fit in, or the ones whose parents don't think they fit in, or the ones who are, I don't know, for some reason or other don't want to go, that kind of thing, do you feel that they should all be marched off and made to go to school? Do you feel as if home educating ought to stop, Amanda?
No, I don't believe it should stop. It's good for some people, but I believe for the majority of people that a child should be educated at school. That's just the way I feel.
All right, Amanda, thank you. Let's try Charlene again. I don't know if she's there or not. We'll give her another go. Charlene, are you there?
Hello, hi.
Oh, hello, you are there. Well, that's a relief. Tell me why it's such a great thing that your son is educated at home. Why is it good for him and good for you?
It's good for him and good for me. Good for me because it's less stress. The trouble he was having at school was just not being supported overall. It's different for him now being at home. I'm able to support him, see where his needs need to be met, and get direct core support for him, with me pushing for that to happen instead of me waiting for it to funnel through a school system with the colossal of children that are there. It's half the parents that are working and having to contact the school. There's no breaking point for parents, so I can see why some of them are rearing towards the homeschooling, especially for the ones that are working from home, the home education. So
sorry to interrupt you, but if I ask you, just give us a very quick picture of a typical day of your home education with him. What sorts of things are you doing, for example?
So we get up in the morning just like normal and have a morning routine. And then from about 9:30, he'll log on to his tutors and have a bit of half an hour of maths and an hour of English. And then obviously we've tried to follow the school system in terms of time to keep with the routine because it's something he had before.
Yes.
Gets to attend law lessons that a company do for children. They teach them law. And yeah, he's come in leaps and bounds, I'd say. And he's able to go to workshops that places like Microsoft and Apple are doing for the home educated children in the daytime, which he wouldn't be able to access if he was going to school because schools don't release you to go to.
And just checking, as far as his social life is concerned and mixing with people of his own age, you're comfortable with that?
Yeah, there's a big homeschooling community. So the two events that I bring up, which is the law class and, for example, Apple do a lot of stuff there during the daytime. There's so many children that are home educated, so there's a lot of meeting up, going for meals, workshops. There's loads of companies that no one's really aware of that do a lot for home ed children.
Hey, appreciate the call, Charlene. Thank you very much indeed. Let's go to Val in the West Midlands. How do you feel about it, Val?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. It all sounds very positive, and I may have considered it as well. But I think the only thing I have is about the safeguarding issue, because we don't know exactly what is going on. I mean, some of the calls we've had, they've been extremely positive, and the children have benefited so much. But we do hear about others that have gone into homeschooling and have come out very, very badly at the other end. So there is that concern. So we just need measures to be set in place for children that are being homeschooled so that the safeguarding issue is addressed.